This is Matrix Lord 212 reviewing Doctor Who Flux, the Vanquishers. Well, what can we say about this episode that we didn't predict already? Chris Chibnall isn't going to answer a damn thing because he doesn't know what the answer is himself. Nothing was proven. The fugitive doctor was not proven to be pre-Hartnell. No doctors before the doctor has been proven. The episode consisted of all villains with egos. The Swarm, Azure, their boss, the Serpent. None of the episode made sense. They dropped Claire back off, but who was the Claire that stumbled upon them that took the long way around? Is there two Claires? Claire Browns? The Serpent didn't even know who Vinder was, but yet he met Vinder before? Made no sense. A planet called Time. A being basically claiming it's time. You have to understand something, and that being that the doctor saw the lens she was taking to try to find out who she was. She was becoming horrible. If you remember, I said she became selfish. She became this. She knows this, though. This is why she didn't want to know who she was before, because she became so ugly to find out. She could have sacrificed the whole entire universe to sacrifice, to find out her identity. And you're going to believe the Master, who is in cahoots with this Tecteun? How about it's all bullshit? Okay? How about it was probably, Tecteun was probably some Time Lord that claims that they was part of the founders, besides Rassilon and Omega, that found the Time Lord Society, Gallifreyan Society. Maybe she created the division, but she wasn't really all she said she was. And it wasn't really that big to begin with. It's just all bullshit. And I think that's what you got from this episode, is that it's all bullshit. Because nobody knows what the fuck is going on. The Doctor gets split into 3 doctors. Antimatter and matter, like the 3 Doctors episode. What, the first Doctor, second Doctor, and third Doctor? Where antimatter was spreading throughout the Earth, destroying everything in its path. So that's what the Flux is. And Passenger is just about a puddle monster, which Moffat had created. There was supposed to be creatures traveling around in the body. So, like, Christian basically took elements from all different things he's seen with Doctor Who. He gave us his version of Adric dying, which is Jericho. Okay. The fact that the Doctor was split in 3 is interesting. Why 3? Right? And I was like gonna try to figure it out, but it's pointless because Chris Chibnall is not a good writer concerning Doctor Who. He basically took the Timeless Child story arc and basically screwed us over, where it's over. The Timeless Child thing is over. She doesn't want to know. She threw it in the TARDIS thing, and she's like, if I ask for it, give it to me, but she doesn't want to know. And she don't care. And that's the end of it. It's over. Nothing was proven. You're going to listen to these people with egos, this Tecteun, the Master, Azure, friggin' the Flux, the Swarm, and like that other being that was the Swarm and Azure's boss. That creature, like, what did he call himself? Time itself, probably? They're all have egos, and they're all full of shit. And the fact that they're saying to the Doctor that she ain't going to regenerate and she's ending, they're making shit up because it's bullshit. If that being didn't reconstitute the Doctor that was split into 3, the Doctor would have found a way to reconstitute herself, and then she would have brought that whole thing down. Besides already now the Swarm and Azure being dead, she would have brought the boss down. So the boss didn't want to deal with the Doctor, trying to make it like he did something nice or she did something nice by refusing her together. But by refusing her together, the Doctor ain't going after that villain. So, it's like just going to ignore it, whatever it is. The villain did give her a heads up. The Master's coming back, okay. Just like the end of time, Master coming back, okay. Final battle, okay. Chris Chibnall's not doing anything like spectacular that he's just taking from other showrunners. He's taking from RTD. He's taking from Stephen Moffat. This episode was all over the place and still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense how this guy in 1900s or 19 whatever basically built this thing like that connected time. It doesn't make any sense, and it wasn't explained. Yaz traveling with Dan for years, and basically now Yaz wants him in the TARDIS, to be a companion, which is great. It's fantastic. But now after seeing this episode, there is a uncanny connection with Yaz and the Doctor that is beyond companion. It is definitely apparent that the Doctor, has something for Yaz, and Yaz has something for the Doctor, and that is just, it's there. I didn't think they were going to do that, but it's there. Something's there. It's not going away. I'm just unhappy with, I knew that he was going to screw up the finale, and it wasn't going to make any sense. And after all these years, now we got nothing. We all these people, see what happened is when he created the Timeless Child thing, the fan base split into different factions where they wanted doctors before William Hartnell. And now they weren't proven right at all. And these people are still out there like, there's doctors before the first Doctor. No, there isn't. You're not going to believe a bunch of villains from the Villain Club that are telling you what your friggin' origin is. Tecteun, nobody knew who the fuck Tecteun was. And your greatest enemy is going to tell you, hey, that's your mom. And you're going to believe it? No. And her too? No. It makes no sense that this woman founded the Time Lords only to create a division against the Time Lords. She's obviously a nutcase that wasn't really anybody big on Gallifrey. And this whole thing is a lie. And that's all it is. It's just, she thinks that she's got all these operatives and she don't got shit. Maybe she had a couple. Maybe she's responsible for taking the Doctor out of time and then the Doctor getting killed and having to regenerate into Joe Martin's Doctor. And then the Time Lords putting the Doctor back and recalling. Basically, what the Time Lords probably did was they probably unmade the Doctor. So while those adventures existed, and she did have companions with Kevin East and everything, that Doctor doesn't exist anymore. It was undone. And that's the thing about time travel, is they could go in there and they could implant a Doctor in between something because it's time travel show. The whole thing with the War Doctor was the Sisterhood of Karn, I think, are full of shit. And they implanted that Doctor in between 8 and 9 because time's fucked up anyway. And when it was done, then the regeneration energy kicked in and there comes 9. So War Doctor is not the 9th Doctor because he wasn't a Doctor. Just like you don't count the Valyard either. You don't count the Watcher either. So, and if the Watcher was counted, it could be Doctor 8000, really. So, and the Valyard would be Doctor 7999. So, I'm the episode is all over the place. Then it was talking about Kevin Easter was very close with the Doctor. I don't know what that meant. If they were like lovers or some crap, because the way he's talking, it's like it was like a Clara type of thing. I don't know, but he can't say anything because he'll die, which makes no sense. None of this makes sense. And they're not going to talk about it anymore. Now you got a freaking Groundhog Day episode of the Daleks, which I got to tell you, he disappointed me with that too, because you could have had a grand special, all-out Davros, the Daleks, and you ruined it, because what you did give us was you basically told us that there were no specials and that these episodes were filler episodes that you're just going to call special. So this was probably something that was in the season and it was never meant to be a special, a one-off, because there's no way this looks like special material. Them going in a time loop with the Daleks does not look in any way, shape, or form like special at all. It's just a filler episode that, again, he spaced out, and he calls it a special. Now, the other one, the Master, I'm sure that was going to be the real finale of the season, or close to it. And then you got the actual Centennial BBC thing, whatever, which I don't know if that's going to be a one-off. But as far as I know and I feel, the Timeless Child thing is done. It's buried. She don't want to know who she is. She don't believe it anyway. And that's the end of it. The only thing that she probably knows is that the division, and you know how funny it's called the division, right? Where the Doctor gets divided in three. Division, divide. They probably had their own doctor. That's it. Like the War Doctor, like the Sisterhood of Karn, I believe, gave him a regeneration. They gave him a regeneration that they made from a potion. So why would the regeneration energy not work? And then they specially made a regeneration for him. So the Doctor just is, she doesn't care about the Thomas Child anymore. She only counts the fugitive Doctor as herself, but she doesn't count anything else. She doesn't care. And you know what? I don't care either, because it's basically, I could accept Joe Martin be like implanted in the timeline, just them doing something and then reverting it back. And that's fine. I like Joe Martin's Doctor, but there's all the evidence point to the fact that it's all a bunch of villains with egos, and it's all bullshit. And the fact that Dan's girl doesn't want to give him the time of day, that's fucked up too. Blaming him because the guilt by association that all this stuff happened to her because of him. He's trying to tell her it wasn't his fault that he was late. She's just a real jerk, honestly. I don't like her at all. I didn't like her before. And she's garbage. And Claire Brown is somebody we could have liked, but her thing is so convoluted and messed up that there's two Claire Browns, because who's the one that was already saw them from the past that's looking for them or something? That's just weird. So, and then Vinder and Bell are with Cavanista, and that's going to be the team, and they're not going to split, and he's going to be with them because he's lonely, and that's going to be the end of it. And he's going to raise the kid with them, and Kumbaya. Now the Serpent, I don't even know what the hell that was, the Grand Serpent, and he doesn't even know. And there's all these throwaway lines like Kate Stewart calling a friend, and then he didn't even really react to her at all, like he was scared of the Doctor, like he knew who she was, but yet he knows a TARDIS. He just seemed like like he had a stick up his ass, like who the fuck he thought he was. And then he got his ass kicked, mind you, and then he don't even know who Vinder is either, and that makes no sense either. It's almost as if all these creatures and these villains are from other timelines, like other universes, and it's just weird. And the Ood is the Ood still at that point with the ship, and what is he doing now? Is he, now that Tecteun's dead, is he traveling universes? It was garbage. I did like the episode, but I knew the conclusion was going to be crap, and I knew that the Timeless Child thing is now over. Done. I don't think they revisit it at all. All right, so that's my review. What do I give it? I mean, I did like it, though. That's the weird thing. I did like it. I'm going to give it a 7. It wasn't the best of the series. It wasn't the worst, but I'm going to give it a 7. And again, I probably will watch it again. But it's funny, like, after I finish watching it, my AMC Plus, like, subscription is over. And I'm not going to renew it because I'll get Doctor Who from something else. I could pay $8.99 friggin' month if I'm only going to have a special. So I'm probably going to just buy the special outright on something, maybe the PlayStation thing, or whatever. But again, the Dalek, I think that the special is wasted. I think that it's a letdown seeing the trailer for the Daleks being nothing but a Groundhog Day. But Doctor Who did it first, the time loop thing. But a time loop thing, it's just wasted. It's a disappointing New Year's special, looks like to me. It doesn't look good at all. That's it, guys. Take care. Bye for now.